Hi, Cozy Adventures. I realized before it's officially spring, at the end of this week, I want to go through some end of winter vanilla and sweet perfumes. Specifically, I want to go through all my Guerlain samples that I have and perfumes, just really quick. So, because I'll revisit them in other categories. Like I just talked about L'Essence and Shalimar L'Essence and Angelique Noir as elegant powdery vanillas. This one, L'Essence, the Shalimar, is very like vintagey mixed with like a big dollop of rich Guerlain vanilla. And Angelique Noir is kind of like an herbal, floral, powdery vanilla. It's Angelica, which has this herbally, floral feeling to it, and also has like a sort of mature vibe. But I tried them both on my partner last night, who loves baby powdery scents, and he really liked both of those, so that's good. And then I have tobacco honey and Tonka Imperial, which I think that one is discontinued. And tobacco honey is super strong honey, but it's not animalic. It's just like thick and sweet, and just smells like a high quality, but not like raw with the bee parts or wax in it. It smells like a clarified, high quality, like wildflower honey, with some tobacco. And yeah, it's very, if you don't like, or you're iffy about either of those notes, tobacco and honey, then you will not like it, because that's pretty much what it is. But it's really good for what it is. And Tonka Imperial also has some tobacco in it. So when I was trying these out at the same time, it was a nice layering to wear one on one side and one on the other. So this has a strong Tonka, and it has, yeah, it's mostly Tonka and tobacco, I think. So that's a yummy one too. And I'm definitely a Tonka fan. And then for vanillas, I have Vinny Planifolia Extrait, which I've talked about before. That's like $1 bajillion. It's like a very pure vanilla, but that feels powdery, not like a baby powder, but like the texture feels powdery. And Double Spirituous Vanille is more of a rich vanilla. Hi, Cozy Adventures, finishing up my end of winter Guerlain fragrance exploration. And I am going to be getting some new Guerlain samples coming in for spring and summer that are like a lighter texture. But most of these are like thick and sweet in a way that might not be very summery. So I got a tiny little sample of Fève Gourmand by Guerlain, which is a chocolate rum, like a dark chocolate cocoa and rum scent that also has rose in it. And what else? It has something else in it that's a smokiness. So when I first put it on, I smell all of those smells, and it smells almost a little bit BO-ish to me. Like it's too many of these smells, and it smells a little off. But then when it dries down, it's actually, I'm wearing it right now, more of a skin scent. It doesn't, compared to pretty much all these other Guerlains, this one doesn't project very much, at least on me. And it could be mostly because it's just a dabber, but I read other people saying that it is a skin scent on them. So yeah, when I first put it on, it has almost that kind of rotting fruit smell that I don't like. But yeah, when it dries down, it's more of a sort of subtle, like if Chocolate Greedy was a more complex and actually very subtle skin scent, because Chocolate Greedy is very much a like projective scent bubble. And I definitely prefer that, but this one is interesting. And then I have these little 1 ounce bottles of Mont Guerlain and Mont Guerlain Intense. and these are actually somewhat affordable, so I really recommend them. They're vanilla lavender fragrances, and I went out yesterday wearing one on one hand and one on the other, and my neighbor could smell me wafting around and was like, "Thank you for smelling so good." And I was like, "Oh, the vanilla lavender." And she's like, "I don't know what it is, but thank you." So these are beautiful projection kind of fragrances, and I'm curious to know, to find out with her if she was more attracted to the regular Montguelan, which is a lighter, it's sort of the princessy, lighter, sweeter scent, and the Montguelan Intense, I guess, is sweet too, but it's got this, it's like a thick depthful vanilla version of it with a little bit more complexity. That's my favorite, but if you look at it, I've actually used the regular Montguelan. I don't know if you can tell. It's not that much of a difference, but I've used the regular Montguelan more, I think, because it's lighter and I like it better for sleeping. I won't be using much until the spring. I have Tobacco Vanille, which is just a like magical, well-blended tobacco-y vanilla, not a vanilla-y tobacco. So it's not actually very smoky. It's more like the actual smell of like the tobacco flower, the tobacco leaf, mixed with vanilla, giving it this depthful, yummy smell. And then I have talked about these other couple ones recently. I just talked about Tobacco Honey by Guerlain. It's just a really strong honey and tobacco, really sweet, also not smoky. And I used those two and a little bit of 2150 Reverie by Victoria Beckham, which is a tobacco, like a cigarette tobacco, but an unlit cigarette. So also not smoky exactly, but has a little bit of that dirtiness of cigarette, but in a sweet tobacco way, not a smoky way. Vanilla and plum. And I was wearing the other day a little bit of each of these, and that smelled so good. And next time I'm gonna add this one too, which is a new one I have from the Maker Fire that's being discontinued. And the box is so cool. It looks like fancy wallpaper, fancy hotel wallpaper. But this one I just talked about recently too, has a mix of a sort of DNA that I find in some of my favorite masculine fragrances that I wear, including Gucci Pour Homme 2003, and I think that's a resinous quality, but it also has smokiness, and it has, this one has more smokiness and less of the sweet tobacco, and it's a vanilla too, and juniper. Some of these have that too. It has this aromatic thing going on. So next time when I'm putting a little bit of each of my tobacco fragrances, I'll put this one on too. But this is very wintry feeling to me. So those are my tobacco fragrances that I've tried and loved so far. Hi Cozy Adventures, continuing on with my end of winter vanilla fragrances, my thicker, more thicker, darker, more wintry kind of vanillas that I have. One is Lalique. This usually has a red string around it. I just didn't like the red string, so that is why it looks maybe different than you usually see Lalique. But this is such a thick, sweet, like depthful, syrupy vanilla, and with aromatic qualities. It has bay leaf, I think, and yeah, I love when there's a bay leaf or sage. Which one do I have that has the sage? Oh, Guess Seductive Noir. I can bring that in now. So Guess Seductive Noir, people compare it to Montguelan, and it does have a lot of similarities. It's not lavender, it's sage for the aromatic herb. but it is a nice thick vanilla. It doesn't have the particular sort of girl-on magic that makes their vanilla particularly addictive and sensual, but it's a really good smell and so inexpensive, so definitely recommend. I got it secondhand, that's why it's all kind of crappy looking, but I recommend that one. And then this one I got secondhand recently, which is Casimir, and this is a Michel Amarac creation from, I think, from the 90s, and is one of those like first gourmandy vanillas, and often isn't credited as that because mostly Angel is talked about, but I had gotten a dabber of this and it smelled more vintagey and I was less into it, but I think it's because Oxygen wasn't getting into this. And this has had Oxygen in it, and I think it's an older bottle, and it's just opened up and it's so sweet and fruity. This one is both a good winter and can go into summer because it has peachiness. I think it has ylang ylang, which is like a kind of tropical smell and a creamy smell. So I think this one I'll still be using over the summer probably, but it is very sweet and syrupy. So that is Casimir. And then another one that I got recently, it was my Valentine's Day perfume that I got for myself, is Tokyo Milk Dead Sexy, and it is a like dark woody vanilla. It's got ebony in it, and yeah, something about it is just very like fall and winter. Hi Cozy Adventures, continuing on with my end of winter vanilla and other sweet decadent fragrances that I'm exploring. I now am continuing on with the same themes as Fire from the Maker and Guest Seductive Noir, and I'm trying out Diptyque's Eau Duel, which is a very aromatic resinous vanilla, and Baby Cat, which is like a black peppery suede vanilla, and then Bare Suede Vanilla by Victoria's Secret, and Lune Feline, and is there any other ones? Yeah, those are the 4 that I'm trying right now. Lune Feline, Eau Duel. Yeah, so the Guest Seductive Noir has suede in it, so continuing on with that theme. For me, Baby Cat is so black pepper. Like some people really smell the vanilla strongly, and I can smell that there's vanilla there underneath a big shaker or a big grind of fresh black pepper. So that's mostly what I smell when I smell Baby Cat. It neither smells amazing to me or bad to me, but I could imagine it could become addictive. And Eau Duel, this one is sweeter. It has a lot of resins in it. Not smoky in the way that a lot of these are. Not like smoky or leathery. Just more aromatic, more spices and herbs. So it's not like, it's sweeter than Baby Cat, but it's, to me, but it is still not like a sweet vanilla. It's not like a dessert, but it's an interesting aromatic vanilla. And then I've got Victoria's Secret's Bare Suede Vanilla, which smells like kind of a 90s vanilla to me. The suede isn't super strong, but it does add some like depth and sexiness to the vanilla. And Lune Feline is on the smokier side for me. It's got like a darker, smokier less vanilla-y vanilla thing going on. Hi, Cozy Adventures. To finish up this category of end of winter, depthful, aromatic, smoky, resinous, is that everything? Peppery vanillas. I am trying a couple of Middle Eastern fragrances that I tend to have allergies to, the less expensive Middle Eastern fragrances. So I'll probably wash them off after I talk to you about them, and then try to sell or give away my samples of them. But I have Nyla Suede by Arabiat Prestige, and I love Nyla Vaniel. I have a bottle of it. It looks so pretty and like a genie in a bottle sort of bottle in a way to me, but golden. And it smells so good, like this sexy jasmine vanilla, but I am allergic to it. So I need to sell that as well. It is similar to Bare Suede vanilla for sure. It's a little bit less like this particular 90s smell that I'm not sure what that's made out of, but a similar amount of suede and sexiness in that way. And then Ruficat, the Paris Corner dupe for Baby Cat, is, I actually like it a little bit better than Baby Cat, at least right now. It feels a little bit more blended and a little bit sweeter, and yeah, the pepper feels a little bit less like dumped on top and more blended in it. So I recommend that if you're interested in a peppery vanilla and you don't have the intense chemical sensitivities I do, which is a big old bummer because a lot of really good fragrances that are on the cheaper side are not doable for me. But that is, oh no, okay, there's gonna be more. That's the end of my like end of winter, like especially kind of heavier and darker aromatic, peppery, smoky vanillas. And I do have a few more vanillas to process through that I don't want to just like leave in case the samples go bad. So I will do that next because I want to finish that up, and then I'll be doing so many musks and like florals and spring and summer fruity fragrances. But I want to get these out of the way first, and so we'll be back. A lot of them are Bianco Latte schmoops. Hi, Cozy Adventures. Continuing on with my more like wintry sweet fragrances that I wanted to sniff before I put them away for the season. One is this Donna Karan Cashmere and Vanilla Essence. I saw so many people bring this up, like especially like kind of older YouTubers, as like one of their favorite vanillas or their favorite vanilla. And it has an apple note, which I think lightens it up a little bit. It's a little powdery, a little, there's some lightness to it. It's definitely perfumey. It's not a straight up like gourmand kind of vanilla, but it also feels pretty neutral. Like it doesn't stand out to me of all the, you know, hundreds of things that I've smelled on my fragrance journey. It doesn't stand out much. So I'm actually gonna bring this, I'm gonna put it in my stash that I'm gonna smell again once it really warms up, because I'm curious to see if actually in warmer weather, if I'll smell more from it. You'd think with a cashmere and vanilla essence description that would be like a cold weather kind of fragrance, but I don't know, there's something about it that makes me think it's gonna show me more when it warms up a little bit. And I'm wearing a cashmere sweater today, so I just felt like I should smell it. But this one, yeah, I'm gonna try later. And then two that I really liked from Sniff are Naughty Nona, which is like a fruitcake. like a spiced fruitcake. More on the cake than on the fruit. Like an Italian fruitcake. And creme couture, which is like a croissant, and it has some jam in it. I tried the almond one. I didn't like it that much, so I'm putting that also in my try again when it warms up stash. I guess that's the new creme couture. That's an almond one. Yeah, I really thought I would like it, but it felt like kind of weirdly heavy. So I'm curious to see if it could kind of like soften and open up either over time or in different kind of weather. And two of them from this sample pack that I didn't like were Swede Tooth and the soda one, whatever that was called, Soda Snob. They just were sweet in a non-depthful way that I'm not that much of a fan of. Hi, Cozy Adventures. So I wanted to do my last several wintry, fall and winter kind of vanilla perfumes, sweet perfumes that are from Middle Eastern houses that I have allergies to. They're inexpensive perfumes, so I'm not putting them on skin, but I put them on paper, and then I will be like selling them or giving them away because it's just pretty consistent for me. Paris Corner, for some reason, is a little less, I'm less sensitive to it, so it must not use the same kind of solvents that that like Lattafa does. And I'm not sure about how I react to Maison Osrar. I might be kind of okay with Simaya, but in Fragrance World, the ones that I know that I pretty much always have allergies to are Codlage and Lattafa, but it's more than that, unfortunately. So let me start with Bianco Latte and Schmoops. Or no, I'll start with the non-Bianco Latte ones. So I have a couple that are supposed to be like Kayali Vanilla 28 that I got out to compare them to. And they are Alicia Vanilla by Fragrance World and Zimaya Ramp Diva by Zimaya. Ramp Diva is more depthful. The Fragrance World smells a little bit more light and a little bit more chemically. But I think Ramp Diva actually is the most depthful, and I can smell it the best of all three, including the Kayali. So that's interesting. So those are those two, and then I have Molten Caramel by Paris Corner. And this one is supposed to be like Charosa 71, I believe, which is not one that I like. It's really strong popcorn, like with some caramel. But to my nose, the popcorn is stronger than the caramel. And then I have Maison Osrar Milky Way, which is supposed to be like milk, and it smells good. Hi, Cozy Adventures. I'm doing my last video of sweet wintry perfumes, although this one is Bianco Latte and a bunch of schmoops. And Bianco Latte I feel like can be all seasons if you spray lightly, because it does have a little bit of an airiness to it. It's milky, but it's not like super creamy. And yeah, the vanilla is sort of an airy, musky vanilla to my nose. So I'll start with Vanilla Voyage by Maison Osrar. And I just was trying the Milky Way, which is supposed to be like milk by commodity, I think. And I really like it. So I'm curious I think I'm gonna actually try this one on skin, even though I might be allergic to it. And by allergic to it, I mean, for these, it's usually that it ends up, when I inhale it a lot, I get a bad sore throat that sticks around for a day or two. So I don't want that to happen, but I'm very curious about that one because milk by commodity milk doesn't work for me because it has a sort of scratchy dry down, like a scratchy, ambery, woody dry down that I don't like. And this seems not to have that. Like I don't smell it in the background. So I would doubt that it would like kind of show up at the end without being there at all in the beginning. So that one is cool. So anyway, Vanilla Voyage or Voyage is the sibling to the Milky Way fragrance, also by Maison Azrar. And I was looking up the notes just now because it smells licoricey to me. It also, it's like I know it's like heavier. It's got a heavier texture, a more buttery thing going on. Maybe it's like the butter note and the honey note mixed together that's making it smell licoricey for some reason to me. I saw that it also has a little jasmine in it, so maybe it's kind of jasmine. So that one is not my favorite. Zimaya's Tiramisu Caramel is a pretty close dupe. Latte Abayad by Hekayat Attar. Pretty close, a little less and a little weak. Noor by Riffs is really, really close, and it's close right away. It doesn't have to get to dry down. So I really recommend that out of the Middle Eastern ones. And then I also got Bianca Latte by Hey Sugar, which is really close, just not as strong. And the Bianca Latte, of course. I also wanted to say regarding Bianca Latte schmoops, I did have a bottle of, what is that one called? It's like buttercream frosting-ish twist on Bianca Latte, cream velvet. Yeah, so to me it was a little thicker because it had the butter added, but it didn't smell like butter like in Vanilla Voyage. It smelled like a frosting. And I really, really liked it, but it is codlage and I get my allergies to it. I also tried Eclair, which is Latafa, which I get allergies to, and it needed to sit for a while, but once it sat for a while, it ended up smelling really good. It smelled really like Bianca Latte, but like a thicker milk smell to me. Bianca Latte has a lighter texture for my nose. And Nyla Vani L, I still have the bottle because I didn't want to give it up, but I'm allergic to it. I need to sell it. But this one is so good. This is very Bianca Latte-ish with a sexy jasmine. And if I could wear it without getting a sore throat or various symptoms, this would probably be my favorite because it's like Bianca Latte but extra sexy. I think I'd still use Bianca Latte for sleeping though. Bianca Latte or Bianca Latte are my sleeping versions of that DNA. Hi Cozy Adventures. Two more that I forgot that are in the Bianca Latte similar category. One is Dua, which is another brand that I am allergic to. Dua, Bath and Body Works, and Codlage and Latafa. All of them are these inexpensive brands that make all kinds of fun fragrances, and I consistently get as like a sore throat and different allergy reactions to them. So Dua does white milk. That's their version of Bianca Latte, and I don't think I've smelled their original white milk. They have white milk 2.0, which was supposed to be even closer to it, so that's the one that I had, and I sold that. And this is the only Dua that I kept because I liked the macaron part. It's French macarons and white milk, so it's like, yeah, French macaron smell mixed with Bianca Latte smell. And this is very strong, and the white milk by itself is very close to Bianco Latte. I just have allergies. And then I got a sample and tried on my skin when I was there from the Maker Dream, which I wasn't expecting to smell like Bianco Latte, but on first sniff, that's what I smelled with it. It's like a lot muskier than Bianco Latte. And I know the list of notes is not the same as Bianco Latte, but it does have that, the tonka vanilla, maybe honey, whatever sort of base mix that Bianco Latte is, it has that kind of DNA. But yeah, lighter, muskier, and I really enjoyed wearing it with the way that it went in the air. So I've said this before, but if I had like an unlimited budget, I would get a bottle of this as well from the Maker. And that, I think, is all of my Bianco Latte and adjacent fragrances. Yeah, I think so. And next I'll be doing musks. So this is a good bridge, going into musks for spring. And I think I'm gonna be, I already did some vanilla musks, and I think I'm gonna be going into like a soapy and floral and sexy musks next.